My name is Alice. I'm from Texas. This is my real-life story. I was 26 years old when everything happened. I was living with my mother and my younger sister, Emma. My father had passed away 5 years earlier, and after that, we had faced a lot of troubles. My mother tried her best to keep the house running. I worked in a clothing store in the city to support the family. Life was not very easy, but we were managing somehow. My days were simple. I worked from morning till evening, came home tired, helped my mother in the kitchen, and played with my sister. We didn't have much money, but our hearts were full of love. We laughed together. We cried together. We prayed together. Our little home was full of peace. I had never thought much about marriage. I believed love would come when the time was right. And then something unexpected happened. It was a Saturday evening, and we had a wedding in our family. My cousin Maria was getting married. The wedding was big, decorated with lights, flowers, and beautiful colors. Everyone was happy and excited. People were dancing, singing, and enjoying food. I wore a blue dress, not new, but my mother had stitched it nicely. I had done my hair simply and wore light makeup. When I entered the wedding hall, I saw many known faces. I smiled and waved. I was sitting with my cousins when I noticed a man standing near the corner. He was tall, handsome, and wearing a black suit. But the problem is, he wasn't talking to anyone. He didn't dance. He didn't smile. He just stood there silently, watching everything. I looked at him once, then looked away. But when I looked again, he was looking at me. Our eyes met for a second. I quickly turned my face away, feeling shy. The night went on. I danced with my cousins, laughed with my friends, and enjoyed myself. But that man stayed in the same place. I didn't see him eat. I didn't see him speak. He just stood quietly looking around. Sometimes I felt like he was only there for me. I had never seen him before. When the wedding ended, I forgot about him and went home. 2 days later, I got a message from an unknown number. It said, "Hi, I saw you at Maria's wedding. Can we talk?" I was shocked. I replied, "Who are you?" He answered, "I'm Adam. I was at the wedding. You were wearing a blue dress. You looked beautiful." I didn't know what to say. "How did he get my number?" He said, "I asked Maria. I really wanted to talk to you. I hope you don't mind." I felt surprised but also curious. No man had ever approached me like that. I decided to reply. We started chatting. He told me he was 32 years old. He worked in real estate. He lived alone. He had no close family. He said he liked my smile and the way I carried myself. I blushed while reading his messages. I had never experienced this before. For a few days, we talked every night. He asked me about my favorite books, favorite food, and childhood dreams. I told him how I lost my father. He listened silently and said, "You're very strong, Alice." His words gave me comfort. I felt like someone was finally seeing me. And then something unbelievable happened. On the third day of talking, he said, "I want to marry you." I was shocked. I replied, "You don't even know me properly." He said, "I don't need to know more. My heart has decided. You're the one." I didn't know what to think. I told my mother. She was worried and said, "Be careful. You don't know this man." Sometimes people say sweet things and then disappear. But I trusted him. He made me feel special. No one had ever said they wanted to marry me after just 3 days. After 2 weeks, I said yes. He was so happy. He said, "You made my life, Alice. I'll always keep you happy." He met my mother. She wasn't fully convinced, but she didn't stop me. A small wedding was arranged. Only close family and a few friends were invited. I wore a white dress and he wore a gray suit. We exchanged rings. He kissed my forehead and whispered, "I'll protect you till my last breath." I felt lucky. I thought I had found true love. The first month after marriage was beautiful. He brought me roses every Friday. He took me to restaurants. He listened to my stories. He kissed my hands and said, "You are the light of my home." I cooked for him every day. I decorated our small apartment with flowers and candles. I left my job because he said, "You don't need to work. I'll earn for both of us." I believed in him. Every evening I waited for him with tea. We watched movies together. We laughed. We hugged. Everything seemed perfect. But slowly, things began to change. One evening he came home late. I asked, "Why are you late?" He said work was busy. I believed him. But the next day he came late again. Then again, and again. He stopped smiling. He didn't hold my hand anymore. He didn't talk much. He kept looking at his phone. He laughed at something on his screen, but never showed me. I asked, "What's so funny?" He replied, "Just a work joke." His phone never left his hand. He took it to the bathroom. He placed it under his pillow at night. My heart started feeling heavy. Something was wrong. I wanted to believe him, but my heart was afraid. One night he came home after midnight. I had cooked his favorite dinner. It was cold now. I asked gently, "Where were you?" He shouted, "Stop questioning me!" "I'm tired." I froze. I had never heard him shout before. I said nothing. I cleaned the table silently. That night I cried under the blanket. He didn't ask why, and then the truth came out. One evening he was in the shower. He forgot to lock his phone. A message popped up. "I miss your touch." It was from a woman named Melissa. My hands were shaking. I opened the chat. My heart broke into pieces. "You're the only one I want. Last night was magical. When will I see you again?" My head spun. I couldn't believe my eyes. Pictures of them together, her hand on his chest, him smiling. The smile I thought was mine. He came out of the shower and saw me holding the phone. He looked shocked. "Give me the phone," he said. I looked at him and asked, "Who is Melissa?" He said, "She's just a friend." I whispered, "Friends don't talk like this." I cried. I screamed. "Why did you lie to me? Why did you marry me if you loved someone else?" He said, "It was a mistake." I was confused. "I didn't mean to hurt you." I couldn't breathe. I locked myself in the bedroom. I cried the whole night. My heart was shattered. The man I loved had betrayed me. The next morning, I packed my clothes. He begged, "Please don't go. I'll fix everything. I'll leave her. I swear." But I didn't listen. I went back to my mother's house. She opened the door and hugged me tightly. I cried on her shoulder. She didn't ask anything. She just held me. I stayed in my old room. I didn't eat much. I didn't talk. I stared at the ceiling for hours. My sister Emma tried to cheer me up, but I couldn't smile. Adam sent messages every day. He said he had deleted Melissa. He said he was sorry. He said he wanted to start fresh. I read his messages, but never replied. One day I told my mother everything. She cried too. "My poor daughter," she said. "You didn't deserve this." I asked her, "Should I forgive him?" She said, "Only if your heart feels peace. Don't go back out of fear or pity." I thought deeply. I remembered his love, his lies, his betrayal. I asked myself, do I want a life full of doubt? And then I made a decision. I chose myself. I chose peace. I chose healing. I decided not to return. I blocked his number. I applied for a new job in another city. I started learning online. I joined yoga classes. I made new friends. I started reading books about self-love. Slowly, I smiled again. I walked in the park alone. I drank coffee while watching sunsets. I didn't need someone to hold my hand. I held my own. Today it has been 2 years. I live in Lisbon now. I work in a beautiful bookstore. I have my own little apartment. I travel. I write in my diary. I laugh with strangers. And sometimes I sit near the sea and whisper to myself, "You did the right thing, Alice. You chose yourself."